we need to connect in the organization the rational mind, the relational mind, the emotional mind, the existential mind. But something was missing. Again, something was missing. What missed? And to find what was missing, I needed to look deeply into the mirror. And is there in the mirror where I discovered the dark side. Okay, what do we already know about the dark side, about this subject? In the books, we can find this framework, the Dark Triad, Paulus Williams, 2002. And they say that the dark side in the organization are mainly characterized by three characters: the narcissist, the psychopath, the Machiavellianism. That means people who looks for their grandiosity, pride, egotism, lack of empathy. The psychopaths in the organization are the people, but not only organization, even between your friends, maybe you. Antisocial behavior, impulsivity, selfishness. Machiavellianism is manipulation, intention towards others, the lack of morality. So the academic think that this is the dark side in the organization. I do not agree. Why? Because first of all, some people are telling very clearly that they are successful people. And they are the bad guys, yes, but they are successful. And it's not so easy to be successful in the organization, absolutely not easy. Even the Harvard Business Review are describing that, okay, the bad guys win at work. But why they win at work, in your opinion? Maybe because they are manipulative and cruel? Maybe, but not only. And here the key words are energy, organizational energy. The key words is what I think is the new cash. I think that you have already know the words, the cash is the king. No, the organizational energy is the new cash, is the king. The willing of doing something that is not just your personal, but in your organization, something that has a project, that is the new cash. And I can use a framework by Bracken and Vogel that split the energy in organizations 4 areas, separated by the quality of the energy, positive or negative, the intensity of the energy, high or very low. So we can find negative quality, low energy, the silent people, the people that have politics mindset, not good. There are the higher quality but low intensity that are the people in the comfort zone. They love the quiet living. I can assure you that when you are working with a team with an objective, they are not so good. Then there are the creative people, the allies, that people that when you propose something to change, they love it and they make lots of energy, creative energy, high quality, high energy, very good people. And then we have the corrosive people, the dark side character. Then, okay, thank you. Some technical adjustment, fine. The corrosive people are the dark triad characters. Fine. What they are in common? High energy and the existential components. They work thinking about existential. They work, the project is something that is very important for them. One reacts with good energy, the other with corrosive energy. But if we need energy in the organization, well, then the corrosive and the creative are the same source of energy and the value. So the bad guys win because they are lots of energy. They are extroverts, openness, curious, self-esteem. There are some costs for the organizations, I know, but they have lots of this new cache. So where else we can find the drainers of the energy in the organization? And the point is that the drainers are both the bad ones and the good ones. Substantially, you are the drainers in some way. And likely, there are the YourChange Canvas, the shadow cards that you can see in this moment, that are the cards that wants to make you thinking about your dark side and help you to manage it. But you should be capable to look deeper into your mirror. But now, let's back. Let's start from the beginning, coming back to the light side and the YourChange Canvas. What is it? It is a framework, very, very easy, very nice, very readable. You can read, I think, all the text. Maybe now is better. So it's a framework with lots of academic studying, real life experience that I make visual because I want to spread, to share everyone this way of thinking organizations and change. So it's very visual. There are two axes, horizontal axis, vertical axis. The horizontal axis is the storytelling axis. And there is this very, sorry, there is the visual can have some problem, but you can follow my speaking. So there is the call to action is the first step on the storytelling that I propose you. It's storytelling that you can find in your personal, but there are 100% in the organization. The call to action. What I mean is reasons why you are prone to take the risk, to take the responsibility for the project. I want to know it, and you have to know your colleagues, what are their particular way to accept the call to action. The framework proposed 3 ways to accept it. Then there are the new world. When you have accepted the responsibility for a change, then your energy are increasing and you start to imagine. You start to imagine things and imagine there are some way to do that. Depending on your mindset, there are 3 ways that I can propose you to identify your particular way to imagine new world in organizational terms. Then when you have something in your mind, you tend to speak out it, to describe it to the people. And what happens is that someone are very happy for you, others are not so happy for you. They are hostiles to you. And it's very important to understand how you are going to manage these hostiles. And there are 3 ways to do that. Then there is the change. If all goes well, you can now face the change. And the change, there are 3 ways to not get lost, to maintain the tensions that we are going to see later. After this change, you have to return home, but regardless of the outcome, if you are trying, it's enough. If you try, there are more and more things to bring back to home, even if the project was unsuccessful. 3 ways to understand, to face your way to return home with something, tools, new tools for you that have learned during the travel, during the trip. There are another axis, the vertical axis. So in the organization, there are 3 levels of depth. The first one is the surface, is the information, is the data. Many of you are aware that data is very important, but it is the surface. The representations of the world with data is just the surface. You have to understand what there is under the sea, the relationships, the politics, the ambitions of people who have to manage this data. If you don't understand these relationships, you are not able to change nothing, actually. And if you understand what is the reasons why of people that are working in organizations, it's not enough, because there is another level of depth where the iceberg is very dark, the sound is very weak, people don't speak at all. We are talking about people that works in organizations like everything is a personal fact. It's existential, the existence. You can think about a founder of a company, of a startup. There is no separations between personal and professional, not at all. You have to understand there's particular language, particular mindset. If you don't do that, you cannot change nothing in organization. So the framework is this one. On the horizontal axis, the framework, oldest framework that the humanity built, that is storytelling. In the depth, 3 different cognitive systems. Now, the game. The game is in this way. I have to understand what is your choice, what is your profile, what is your way of describing yourself, but not in a psychological way. Describe yourself so that others can understand where they can trust on you when you are facing troubles in an organization change path. For example, call of action. Try to ask yourself, what is the way, the reasons why you are accepting a risk? Imagine the last time that you have faced a choice that involved risks or responsibility. Risk not only for you, but only for your friends, your family, your colleagues, your mate. And in these situations, you have the choice to answer me. You have did that choice because there was a sense of urgency, because there was a numbers, something to reach, described by a numbers, objective fact that you have to overcome or everything is going wrong. If you have a number and information is very pragmatic that tell you you have to do that, you are going to do that. If it is, you can choose this card. But there is another one, the team card. It's the choice that is chosen by people who think, okay, I'm taking some responsibility, some risks for myself and for others. Yes, I do that, but only if the people around me are asking me, silently asking me to do that. If my family, my friends are telling, okay, you are the right people, maybe you are not so brave, but very good, maybe you are going to lost, but you have to do that, because you have to do that. If something are asking you and you feel this energy increasing, okay, this is your card. There is the last one, is the more deeply, is the card chosen by the people who think that I'm making some choice not because a number are asking me to do, is not because some people are asking me to do that, but because I love, challenge myself where I'm weak, not where I'm strong at. Where I'm weak, I feel something increasing, some energy, and that is the reasons because I'm facing lots of risk. In the organization, there are lots of entrepreneurs that have no doubt the card is this one. Later, if we have time, I will ask you to compile software where you can make your choice and profile your line. But now go ahead. Now, imagine the new world. Imagine the organization that could be 3 ways to map your mindset. The first one is, okay, I'm imagining the future in the organizations through numbers, key performance indicators. If someone of you practice some sports, I mean, if you have to reduce your timing of half a second, okay, with a number you can describe what you have to eat, how much you have to sleep, how many times you have to meet your friends. So a number can describe lots of a physical, environmental way and fact. Another way to imagine is describe the world in a leadership and organizational wording. So the future needs to be with a leader more participative, a leader more strong, and the organizations more detailed. If you use this kind of words, this is your choice. You are imagining the words in terms of how people relate each other. There is another one choice that you can do. It is values. Is the way to describe future organizations using some values inside, use some words that imply values. And it's the more depth way to describe the future. And now it's very important to do that. Every one of these cards are right and are wrong. The important is to have the oversight of all of them. Now I have to go faster, but there are three choices even for the way you are going to manage hostiles. The first one is the choice made from who of you think that sometimes you have to face the hostiles and tell him what you think. Others is the times to manage the energy of these corrosive people. Other times you have to respect their angers. Talking about change, there are three ways to don't get lost. The classical way is have a business plan, very detailed, or you are prefer to not telling the numbers, but not telling what, not telling how, not telling when, but telling why, the sense. This is the way to not get lost, telling the why you are asking other people to make something. Then there are the trust, not numbers, not storytelling, but building relationship with the people that you are asking to change. Then we have to the return home. There are some people that are very prone to focus all the energy on the tools, database, computers, informative system. Others that are more inclined to talk about culture, so the really final destination is the new culture, a new way of thinking, of acting, of behaviors. Other times, there are the people as the center of the willing of your thinking of change. Try to imagine your choice. I can show you an example of a choice. The choice profile people. In this case, we have a person who have chosen these cards. Another person has made another choice, and a third person of a team. The game is now interesting when you intersect all these three lines. For example, here we can see three people of a team, different people, but here they converge. So these three people, when have to imagine the new world, use the same mindset, the same wording. So here, these three persons are very coherent, are going to drink a coffee or a beer very likely because they are talking the same language. But it's more interesting here because here, these three people are focusing on three different way of thinking the returning home. One of them are very prone to the tools, another one to the culture, another one to the talented person. So they have three different mindsets. They are going to have some contrast between each others. So this is the bad news, but there are the good news, because all of these 15 areas need to be oversight. All these 15 areas are needed to be oversight, because if you less the oversight of one, all the castle can ruin. Here there is an example of a team that interact between each other, and there are a narrative dominant. There is a storytelling that is done from the sum of their choice. If you can see the numbers, is this the calculation of the choice that they have made. And these represent the narrative, the identity, storytelling identity of the team. Here we can meet again the dark side, because now we have people that have profiled themselves, we have people that have oversight of different areas of the framework, we have identity storytelling, but it's not everything good as we can imagine, because have a look. This is a team where people are acting because they want to overcome their weakness. It's good because there are lots of personal energy or personal commitment, but there is a dark side on it. And I can ask you if you can understand your personal dark side. Who of you have made this choice, the card of fatal flaw? If someone of you are telling, okay, I'm accepting risk and responsibilities because I want to overcome my weakness, well, there is a dark side on this choice that you can try to understand, to imagine looking at this picture. If you cannot see anything in this picture, it is not good. If you can see something, okay, it's better. What I mean, are you able to see that if you are going to take the responsibility that can involve not only you, but all your friends, your team, very likely, if you are going to do that for your weaknesses, you are not looking for compromise. It's too much personal. And in this picture, the heroes turns the back to everyone. He's not so prone to listen other typically. And he's going towards a dark, unknown place. Who accept project for these reasons are typically a low perceptions of risks. And if in a team there are many people that have chosen this card, we have many people that are turning her or his back to the others. The team has another. I've chosen this particular team, I've chosen the values. Okay, it's very good. They are very people that are very sensitive to the values matters, fine, but there are a dark side of the values represented by this picture. If someone of you have chosen values as a way to describe future, maybe have to think about the dark side of your choice. What you can see here, this that is represents the value. The red represents the passion that you are protecting your particular way to represent values, but this teeth is extracted from the surrounding tissues, but is still alive. So what I mean, that if someone of you has some values very I can say planted in you, so you are very sure of your values, that your values are right, very likely, it's very unlikely that you are going to go in organizations that are perfectly aligned with your values. It's very unlikely. It's more probably that you are going to live in organizations that are not aligned with your values. It's statistically likely. And there are no instruments to change the values of the organizations, of your values. There are no way to think or act or speak about values without pain. And eventually, when you are aware that you have yours and others have the others, there are the disenchantment. I don't know how is the right pronunciations. Then there are another choice of the team. The team mainly respect the anger of others, because anger is an emotion, and the emotion, we have to respect the emotion of people. Yes, it's right, but there is a dark side of the people who all the time are talking about emotions. That is good, but if you talk too much about emotions and you respect too much the anger because it is an emotion, because maybe you have to look to this picture and think a little more about your dark side, what you can see. We have a toy, and it represents the risk that the people that talk all the time about emotions and talk about anger with respect because it is an emotion, maybe their emotion is a toy. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is the most anger animals in the history, but here is represented by a toy, and it could be a form of self-gratification. I'm very nice with people, even if they are angry, so I'm a nice people, a nice person. It's a dark side. And you see the egg in the background. Okay, many people cannot see in this picture that the problem, the reasons of the anger is not the emotion in itself, is because he or she is protecting something. The nature of the problem is not the emotion itself, has a practical nature, is an egg. And the arms, the tools that the person who is in anger is shorter to manage by him or herself the problem that is facing. Practically speaking, I lots of time work in the organization. There are people that are very in an anger state of mind, and instead of hiring a coach, I'm hiring processes, organizational specialists, because very often they are uncomfort in an uncomfortable situation because the organization is not so good. Making the organization's flow, making their working better, the emotions decrease. There is no emotional side by practical side. Who make the choice of the anger sometimes didn't recognize the practical reasons because someone is in anger. Here we can see that the team have made the choice of the trust. So they want to manage the change and building relationship with people in the organizations, talking with them, with even people that are very in the workforce. Okay, I'm going to close. Okay. There are other dark side that now we have no time to describe. I can finish, Francesco. Okay, perfect. So, what could be the dark side of the person that are telling, I'm going to manage the change, building relationships with people? And there is, where is their dark side? There is. There is, because when you're working in organizations, maybe you are going to have a leadership position, so you have someone else that are doing the job, the hard job. So the relationships I make mention is the relationship with the people is working below your hierarchical level. So the people who are going to sell, to produce, and maybe you are not aware that this is a kind of relationships that is not so warm. It's made on a utilitarian basis. So the cold, the metallic materials, the cold, you can imagine the cold feeling when you touch something of material, means that your relationship is made on just to have information. When you have obtained these informations, your relationships, okay, there is no reasons to go on, to continue. And you are going to find somewhere something that want to talk with you. Now I have to go a little faster and go to the last one. Here the team, sorry. Here the team have make the choice, the culture. So mainly the person that made the team tell, okay, the destination is a new culture. Okay, very good. It's not bad. But there is dark side. If you like to talk about culture all the time, it's good, but there is a bad side. In looking at this picture or reading the words. The backside, the dark side, is that very often people that are telling all the time about culture have a particular idea of what the culture should be. Are you sure that the people are aligned with your idea? I've met a lot of very clever person who tell something very interesting things about culture, and they all the time try to insert this thinking into the other's mind and make a padlock, because it's so sure that this idea of culture is right, is correct, that don't matter if people understand or not. Put into it and make a padlock. The cracks means that maybe someone wanted to, like I have other ideas and try to go out. But when the company, organization has strict rules about culture, it's very difficult to go outside, etc.